And today I am back and I'm making another video on blue collar working, and I'm going to talk about the cons of doing blue collar work. I'll link the video down below that I previously did on the pros of working for a blue collar company. Now today we're going to get into the cons. Okay, so some of these things I like to just make a little disclaimer. Some of these things may be pros as well as cons, but yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. One of the first things I like to say that is a con to me is working extremely long hours. And this is not daily, it just can happen at any time. At one point in time, I was working 10 hours a day, and that could be 5 days a week, it could be 6 days a week. You just never know. It depends on the numbers, and if you have numbers that you have to meet, they own you, okay? They own you, and they can say, we're going to hold you here hostage until we get this number met. That's not really what they say, but that's what it feels like a little bit. So that's one of the things. I can say recently where I am now, we have been only working 8 hours. So that is a plus to me. I don't like a lot of overtime. I don't like working Saturdays. I don't want to work over my hours. My regular hours right now are from 7 to 3:45, which is perfect to me. I also live a long way away from where I work, so it's about a 45-minute drive to and from. I count that as 2 hours out of my day just in travel. I don't really care for that. I feel like I'm wasting time, but hey, it is what it is, right? Depends on where you live and what's available where you live. Sometimes you have to just make that sacrifice to get the job done. So the number one con, I would say, it could be long hours. Number two is it can be extremely physical work. It can be. It just depends. As you all know, those who work for Amazon, there are times you will have to lift up to 50 pounds per box. That could be very strenuous, especially if you have a cage that has all items that are right around 50 pounds. By the time you're done, you're exhausted, and you got to go right back and get another cage and stow it or whatever. It's no joke. Now, where I am now, it's not necessarily like I'm lifting or anything, but it is, I am moving fast, I'm rushing, I'm always, on my feet. So it could be very tiring. On my way home, sometimes I'm just exhausted from the physical labor, even though I'm not lifting or anything like that. But sometimes I do break a sweat because I'm actually like working out, you know what I'm saying, during my job all day. So that has allowed me to lose 16 pounds, which I'm grateful for. So it's also a pro and a con. This is one of those things. It's a lot of exertion, and yeah, that could cause you to lose weight, which is a pro. So now you see what I mean. The next thing I would say is Amazon has spoiled me with the flexibility and being able to leave whenever you want to. Because with this job that I have now, this blue collar job, you cannot leave whenever you want to. If everything definitely has to be scheduled, even if you're on your way to work and you're stuck with an accident in front of you or behind you, that's considered an occurrence or use of an EPTO. And that's like, it seems a little unfair that you would have to use your time for something that you had no control over. But I guess they just want to make sure that you leave early enough to be there in time, no matter what happens ahead of you or what happens behind you. So that I too much don't care for either, as far as there's no really a lot of flexibility. You have to be at your job at a certain time, and yeah, that's just it. And if you don't, it's counted against you, and yeah, you just have to figure it out. Another con that I experienced at my blue collar job is, as I mentioned in my previous video, I have 15-minute walk from my parking lot into the plant where I'm working. 15 minutes every morning and every evening. So you leave work exhausted, super tired, feet hurting, and you still got a 15-minute walk to get to your car. Think about that. You should see us all trekking out to the car. I mean, we're all trying to walk fast, but you can tell our feet are hurting, we're tired. Oh my goodness. It can be exhausting. But like I said, all of that plays part into you being healthier. It's just tiring. It's just tiring. And one last con that I have for my blue collar job is wherever you're hired for, whatever position you're hired for, that's where you have to stay. It's not like if you don't work out in this position, they'll transfer you to another position or another department. No, it's like where you're hired for, that's where they hired you specifically for that job, and that's where you have to stay. I don't particularly care for that either, because what if you're hired for a position that you feel like you can't handle, or a position that you really don't like, but you're forced to stay there if you want to keep your job? Yeah, that's a con for me. But I have to say, basically, that's all of the cons that I could really find. If you look at the other video, there are way more pros than cons. The benefits are great. The pay is great. The hours are great as long as you don't have to do a lot of overtime. However, some people love doing all of that overtime. It just depends on the person. And if you live in or near town, it's very convenient to where that job is. But for me, it's not convenient because of having to travel 45 minutes to and from. And with gas prices going up, it's like, whoa. Whoa, what is going on with that gas? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, there are some things that are cons. It just depends on everybody's situation though. But basically, the job in a whole has way more pros than it does cons. So sometimes you do have to just sit down and write these things out, even as far as your own job, to see if it's worth, or is it beneficial to you and your family to keep a job or not. You know, do you have more pros than cons, or do you have options? Do you not have options? That's something you have to think about. I hope you guys found this video helpful and enjoyable. Please leave me some comments down below on what you thought are your jobs where you're working, and what do you feel about your pros and cons. I'll be doing more videos like this, so if you're interested, please make sure that you're subscribed, and hopefully I'll be seeing you in my next video. Take care.